Boy, oh boy, what will be happening next for CMR and Crissy? Hmm. Nothing much has changed on YouTube. We still have a team of YouTubers still doing what they do, you know what I mean? Because they know this is where it lies for them. But in the reality of things is that even from the UK, big up yourself every single time. In the reality of things, guys, is that the case with CMR has been thrown out now. It has been dropped. That may not mean anything to a lot of people, but for the judicial system and for the people who have been waiting on the verdict, for them, what they've been waiting on has been delivered. For many others who, for whatever their personal reasons may be, still have a beef with the Carter family, still have a beef with CMR, still have a beef with Crissy, they will continue to do what they wish to do. But in the wider view of things, the pieces have to be picked up by the Carter family and they will have to rebuild their empire and they will have to move on from this accusation. So, despite of what's out there, or whatever the accusation may be, right? It's just a case of, it's a case now of, as we have already seen, where you go on CMR TV, where you go and watch Crissy work, where you go on the Carter family, it's going to be business as usual, because at some point in your life, when you are faced with these roadblocks, right? After everything has been cleared, you just have to carry on with your journey. And you also have to understand there will always be people out there in the shadows who, despite of whatever, if you're being good in life or you're being bad in life, you will always be bashed. So you could be the best person in life. You will have people who will not support you doing good and they will attack you. And if you were a bad person, you would have people who wants to be a part of that and they'll support you, and then you'll have people who are against that who will always lick out at you. So in short, if you're good or if you're bad, you will always have your haters, and you have to just know that. Now that this accusation is pretty much out the way of the Carter family, not out the way of the YouTubers who have their ulterior motive, but for the Carter family, this is a big load off the Carter family's back. This is just the reality here now, right? Imagine the family was there together, which we all love, the Carter family. CMR has been accused of whatever he was accused of. There's nothing new about that. So if you don't know, the case is dropped. So if you don't know what he's been accused of, that means it's no importance to you now. If you have been following the story, you would know what he has been accused of. So imagine being at the top of your game and being accused of something like that. CMR would not and will not be the first influencer or mini celebrity to face allegations, whether these allegations can be proven or not. He will not be the first and he will not be the last. We see this over and over and over again. The very president of the United States now, who many people hate and many people love, he was also accused of all sort of stuff. So sometimes in life you have to understand that with great power comes great responsibility, and you always have to expect the unexpected. And the further you go up the ladder is the more enemy you create for yourself. And this is so in life in general. It doesn't have to do anything with social media. It doesn't have to do anything with YouTube. In life itself in general, the further up the ladder you go, is the more you are exposed, the more lonely you get, and the more people thinking that you don't deserve what you have worked hard to achieve. Now, when I look at the Carter family, and I think I have made this blatantly clear, when this story came about of CMR being accused, I couldn't come out here defending CMR. And even before and even after the case dropped now, I cannot be out here defending CMR because, as I have expressed in many of my videos already, right? As I have expressed in many of my videos, that everything will not be clear to us, the viewers, whether somebody is lying or somebody is telling the truth. But that is not my position to go and investigate who is lying or who is telling the truth, because first and foremost, I don't have the resources, and I will not be provided with the information that I need to be able to tell who is lying or who is telling the truth. But all I know, some people are not telling the complete truth, and some people to an extent is lying, and that goes both ways. That goes with the little girl and that goes with CMR. Because like I said, the little girl would have had to be in a spot for it to even get to this point, because I don't think the little girl would out of nowhere just get up and make an accusation against her stepfather just like that for no reason whatsoever. So obviously something happened. But to the extent of which we, the viewers, think that it happened, I don't think it is so. All right. Now that this accusation has been put forward to the court and it has been dropped, my question now is, as the viewers out here in YouTube, continuing to attack the Carter family, continuing to attack Crissy, or even CMR for that matter, what is the mission now behind that? That the professionals have done their job and they have come back with the verdict. While you guys are out there doing what you do, the only thing I can see, and for the other persons who are worth waiting for the verdict, who haven't gone left or haven't gone right, is just a family getting back into a state of rebuilding their empire. Crissy is continuing to put in out videos on top of videos. CMR is back to working on all his YouTube channels. First and foremost, the mission behind all these people out there to destroy Crissy, it didn't work. Crissy looked perfectly fine to me. After everything, while the case was going, which I couldn't say much on because I don't have all the facts, us, the viewers who haven't lived in the house or who didn't work with the law enforcement or in the courts or anything, we can just surmise, speculate, and assume. But like a lot of people who think that they are lawyers and that they are some chief of police or whoever the case may be, they will present what they claim is the facts to you guys. You know? Let me tell you how funny this is. I came across a video because YouTubers, I watch everybody. I watch every YouTube channel. If it pops up on my For You, I will watch it. Because my view of things is totally different from a lot of people. So I see most videos, especially videos which includes JAYY-PRO-WORLD. I see all those videos, I watch all those videos, sometimes in its entirety, sometimes not so much, because some of the videos don't really make any sense sometimes to me, right? And I watch all the videos I see out there with JAYY-PRO, JAYY-Progress, or JAYY-PRO-WORLD, or whichever one. I see all of them. Most of the time they pop up. The ones that don't pop up, then I don't get to see them. And like I say, some of these videos are very long, so I don't really watch all of these videos in its entirety. But you see, intelligence can only be a weapon if you know to wave it properly. So a person can appear to be intelligent, or they could even be intelligent. And the other thing again, we have seen it also well. We're in life in itself. You see people who have gone through university who will leave with a doctorate, but they are nothing more than a person who have probably dropped out of school at grade 6, who hasn't gone through any tertiary level education. They make themselves look a fool because they are trying to wave intelligence according to them, or exercise their academic credits. Okay. I say that to say this. There is a particular video from a particular YouTuber. There is a reason why I don't call YouTubers name, but all YouTubers usually know themselves when I address a topic. I address most things, but not all. But you know what's surprising to me? How a person can portray to be so intelligent, intellect and all of that, but yet still they are further from it. They are further from it. And I'll tell you why. I was laughing this much last night. I thought the video was very funny, with somebody trying to make a point. I thought the video was very funny when I watched that particular video last night. And why? We have a lot of faceless YouTubers out there, right? Only thing you get is their voice, pretty much. And we all know why it comes down to that. And it comes down to that because I always respect a YouTuber, even if you're not particular, my YouTuber that I like to watch, but I always respect a YouTuber who can show who they are to their audience. People don't understand, you know. Body language speak louder than actual words. Who do I connect with if I can't see you? I can only hear your voice. But yet still you want to create a certain... What image do a person put behind that voice? How do you connect with your audience really if I cannot see you? And this is why I don't call YouTubers names who are faceless YouTubers, because I don't know who I'm dealing with. I am here, my video is on me, and I can speak to my audience, right? I can connect with my audience. They are not here with me, but sometimes they can feel like they are here with me when I have my live shows or anything. No. When I watched the video, I was cracking up, to be example. I was cracking up, right? Why I was cracking up is because I came across a transcript of my video, past videos, when I first started addressing the CMR accusation. You know what the point the person was trying to nail across? How did I change my mouth then? From this video to where I am now. For this very intelligent person. Let me ask a little question. Alright. We're not even going to go down that road because I don't even want you to think that I am walking the same path as you. Let me show you how we do this thing. If there is a crime being committed, the first thing the investigating officer will look for is a suspect. Is not that right? You will look for a suspect. Given the information that you're going off, or the potential evidence that you have in front of you, this person could be a likely suspect. But the first thing you do is not just chuck the person in jail and throw away the key. You will want to interview that person. So if there is any doubts, or if your mind is running away too quick, you can catch yourself. This is why when a person is being arrested, they are being interviewed. Because even as an investigating officer, you could pass the wrong judgment too soon. Sometimes you can speak to a person and you start getting a different view, or the person can justify themselves or even give you an alibi. J-Progress. Oh, you did I say this about CMR, and you said this, and look, you did say this, here's the transcript and you did say that. What was I supposed to do? Come out and say CMR is an innocent man? Without any facts? Without any verdict? Were the accusations not there? Weren't there a report? And I made mention, and this is people, the difference with J-Progress and you guys is that I analyze and then I deliver. So if I come and what I see, I analyze it, and 1 week down the line, I have done another analysis and I have different findings, that's what I will put forward to you. I am not here to pick side or not pick side. So I don't come here and talk something now and stick with this thing through the next 10 years, even if the situation has changed. This is the difference. I don't carry malice. I don't envy anybody. And this is not a personal vendetta against anybody. This is my analysis. So at the beginning of everything, if you see that, hang on a minute, you ask the question, how can a person be accused of this and be going on like nothing happened? But you miss the transcript where I also threw myself in the situation to say, there is no way there could be an allegations against me like that, and I am just doing my normal life. But I get begged to say, everybody is different. You know what you know, I know what I know. CMR knew why he could have continued to do what he was doing. Nevertheless, never to go in anything too much like that. But I just wanted to address a few points. So for this very intelligent person who would pull up a transcript to prove, but what I always admire about these people, they will omit the reasonings and browse past a few things just to nail home a point to their audience. But if you ask yourself the question, from the moment I came on this topic, I said to you guys I was smack in the middle. Right? and I am going with the facts, and I am going with the court. So if I even thought that CMR was guilty because of the information that was presented to me at the get-go of this case, right? And then now I see that the court has dropped the case, or leading up to the verdict, things were starting to look a little bit different. There are different cracks. This is why I tell a lot of you people that sometimes you're taking on a job that you cannot manage, because you will have to be biased. Why are you going to be biased? Because this is why, guys, let me teach you this now. You see, if you're going to be a person who split justice, you cannot pick any side, because you will have to be biased. You will have to be biased. Because even if the little girl comes tomorrow morning and say, somebody told her to do this, you will still have these people who will say she's telling a lie now. It's somebody tell her to say that, to let Crissy look good or CMR look good. I don't work like that. That is the big difference between JAYY-Progress and a lot of you guys. The difference with me, if I should come today and do an analysis of a topic, and then tomorrow everything changes on that, I will have to come and update my followers on what the changes are. And if my position yesterday was on the left because of what was there for me to work with, tomorrow my positions could be on the right, because the nature of that has changed, and I am here to analyze and present the findings to my audience, not to pick a side. And this is where, remember, if you guys remember well, I was bashed because people are demanding me to pick a side. It is not personal for me. I have an audience that I need to bring the facts and the findings and the reality of the situation to. Who am I now? As a little YouTuber, who am I now to get the verdict from the courts that they have dropped the case and still come out here to tell my audience that CMR is guilty? Who am I to do that? The courts have dropped the case for not enough evidence. Then who am I to be coming out here putting out video to my audience every day that CMR is guilty? Then my audience will say, JAYY-Progress, but I just saw the thing that the court dropped the case. So how are you saying he's guilty and the court dropped the case? So why are you saying that, JAYY-Progress? How come you see everything and the court don't see it? This is why a lot of you guys will never have credibility. You will never be able to do something in YouTube and come back to even apologize to a person because you thought that you were wrong. Even when you are wrong, you will still stand your grounds because you are biased. And that is the difference with me and you guys. The situation changes. The nature of everything changes. How is it that the analysis will not change? Let's go back to the example I used earlier about a crime happening and the investigating officer arrests a suspect. But when he interviews that suspect wasn't in the area at that time of the crime, or that suspect has an alibi, right? Don't the investigating officer will have to let go of that suspect and then start looking for a different suspect. And let's say he found a suspect now who at the time of the crime, this person car was seen driving from the scene. Wouldn't that change the nature of the investigation? Wouldn't the investigating officer start to look at different aspects? I just love these intelligent people on YouTube, or should I say, who think that they are intelligent. Remember, I'm telling you already, you know, me a dunce, me a idiot, me graduate from the street side university, and me go at the roadside hard knocks college. But probably someone who graduate from Stanford University, Cambridge, or wherever. But tell you what, one learn in the street side university and college, they don't teach those in the traditional universities. And that's where the difference is. One thing my audience can rely on me for is the fact that I don't pick sides. I don't pick sides. I saw a comment which is very interesting. Corinne Green said, bear in mind, dropping the case does not say CMR is innocent, but does it say that he's guilty? That is for my smart commenter just now. Dropping the case does not say CMR is innocent. Okay, I understand, but does it say that he's guilty? There's always two sides to a coin. You have the head and you have the tail. Left hand, right hand. It doesn't say that he's innocent, but it also doesn't say that he's guilty. See, I deal with reality. I deal with reality. And this is what I can deliver that a lot of others can't deliver. Because I tell you what, if they started off selling their audience something, and the nature of that changes, because they want to keep their audience and don't look like they have changed their tone, they will continue to sell their audience that because they don't want to seem like they have already picked a side and they cannot change again. But that's the difference from the get-go. All right, Valerie Chope, I am with you on that, Valerie Chope. So don't get it wrong or twisted, Valerie Chope. Valerie Chope say, I don't care what you want to say. All I know is something happened in that house. Valerie Chope, didn't I make that clear? Didn't I make that completely clear in all my videos? That something happened for that little girl to feel uncomfortable to even reach to the accusation. But the problem is, none of us will be able to know or prove what happened in that house. So what would I be coming here to say? If the evidence wasn't enough for the court to prove that something happened in that house, even though we may think that something happened in that house, who are we to prove it? I can't prove it. Maybe you guys can. But this is the difference between reality and people living in a dream world. Why would I waste my time coming here to prove something that not even the court cannot prove? Where will I get the evidence from? Do I know these people? Do I know their house? Am I in their house? Did I put a camera in their house? So what will I come out here to try to prove? Yes, I can always say something wasn't right. But will I be able to prove it? So what will I be selling my audience? This is why from the get-go I said, I will stick to the verdict. It is their job to prove it. And if they cannot prove it, I can't prove it either. God go with the ones who can. You know? I think that is enough for my fellow YouTubers, to say the least. But no, my fellow YouTubers, and to all the audience out there who have a vast interest in the Carter family, Crissy, CMR, and stuff, channels and what happened. Now that this accusation has been dropped, do you think that the YouTubers will be able to send CMR to prison without the intervention of the courts or the police? I surely can't do it. But I think my fellow YouTubers can. Let me tell you the reality now. And this is the hard part for a lot of them. Now that the case hold on, I like this comment. Little Talman said, Jay, to how I see things, a lot of these females probably went through a similar situation in which they didn't expose the person. So they are using the situation to get justice within themselves. That is a fair point to bring home. What a lot of people don't understand, you know. I think they probably in somewhere there, they are the only one who are aware that a lot of females have gone through essay and all of these things. They are the only smart ones. They are the only ones who are aware of this. This is why they ask the question a lot of times. I hope it happened to your daughter. Do you have a daughter or anything? I have a daughter. She's 17 years old. But that still doesn't take away from reality what reality is. I don't come out here to, because I have a daughter, I am going to do this or I'm going to do that. I analyze what I do out here in my work. I don't put my personal life or my personal feelings before what is there in front of me, as per information, as per evidence, as per everything that's out there. Fine. A lot of females could have probably gone through this who have not got the chance to expose the person. So now that the little girl cannot be classed the same as you guys, because the little girl has actually spoken up. But the little girl has spoken up and it has gone into the hands of the authority. But what did they come back with? A lot of people who have gone through it haven't spoken up at all. They have lived with it for years. They haven't told anybody or anything. So there was no investigation done. It was not before the courts. There was no external intervention into that. But it wasn't so for this little girl. Actions were taken. Investigations were done. But what was the verdict that it came back with? It would almost, people sometimes would almost let it look like America don't really care about allegations like this or accusations like this. And I know, and you know, that America, Canada, and England take these accusations very, very seriously. Very seriously. Jamaica, not so much. Anything will slide in Jamaica. You know, if you have money and anything, everything brush under the carpet. So, Little Talman, thank you for your comment. Norma, I like your comment as well. Norma said, J-Pro, I feel too much is being said about this case when none of you have the facts. Norma, everything that you have learned about this case, where have you learned it from? Have I spoken about anything outside of what is out there in the media? Because I cannot. The only persons who have are my fellow YouTubers because they know more than I do. I analyze what's in front of me. So if it's out there in the media, that's what I work with. This is why I said I will go with the verdict. I will not go against the verdict, because me going against the verdict is almost like I know more than the court. And I don't. So Nama, that's a good comment. All right, Caroline Green. I'm glad you said this. All right, Caroline Green comment said, Crissy did a ear video and the ear company put out the ads, but the audience beat her bad. CMR is Crissy downfall, but she's a yamed. Fine. I made mention, and I don't need to, people don't understand. Everything I come and say, you can find it out there, but that's down to you to do your research. You know? There are videos out there and live out there where people were actually offering to other people to give them emails, phone numbers, because they have reached out to Disney. They have reached out to the other companies. They have, I think Visa, one of those credit card companies, they have reached out to all of the brand deals that Crissy are aligned with. If you're in social media, how don't you know that? If you're following, unless you're just jumping on the bandwagon just the other day or something. This is what I show you about you guys. Well, here, Caroline just said it. I don't need to say that because I know it's out there. People who are following will know. They will know. People are targeting the brands which Crissy are aligned with just to maliciously destroy her name and whatever the case may be, and say they are doing it because of CMR. Yes, what CMR is accused of or everything affects Crissy a whole lot. It does not just affect Crissy, it affects the entire Carter family. It affects the kids, it affects Crissy, it affects everybody. Don't get it twisted. But I don't react to my fellow YouTubers videos because I come across them and I'll have a look. Like I say, I don't watch them in their entirety. I'll have a look because some of them have my name or something in it. And sometimes that's how I do social media. I browse through everybody's thing, you know. But it amazes you to see what people put out there. And Crissy continue to get bashed. CMR continue to get bashed. And one thing I know for sure, the truth always have a way of revealing itself. If CMR is a person who really do stuff like that to kids, he will probably do it again. Because usually, a person who gets away with certain things will always try it again. No matter what they have gone through when they were first accused. So the truth will always have a way of revealing itself. And I am that type of person. Time is always longer than rope. So I don't need to chase the other end. We will eventually get there. You understand? So this is why when I get the verdict, what else do I need to be back and forth about? My confusion is already cleared. A verdict has come out from the court. That's good enough for me. If it's not good enough for you guys, that's your problem. That's good enough for me. Because I analyze what is out there. You know, and if the verdict comes back, what else is there for me to go and analyze? It will mean that we will not have any further information coming out of the courts or from the police department. what is there for me to analyze, or I will just go and bear other accusations and allegations and people thinking that they know this and they know that. But let me tell you what the problem is. Any one of these YouTubers out there, ask them to do a video without Crissy and CMR involved and tell me what happens. Just do that. Ask them to do a video without Crissy or CMR name in the headline or on the title and tell me what happens. I have said this before in a previous video. It's very risky to build a channel on the back of a person, because eventually that story will die down. You know? And I heard Crissy said something the other day that the little girl will be having her YouTube channel soon. And I asked myself the question, if Crissy had feared of this little girl wanting to expose stuff, she'll have the freedom of expressing herself on her YouTube channel, even though probably Crissy and all of them will be editing her videos. But she will find, I think, to be honest, I think it's a very bad idea, Crissy, giving that little girl a YouTube channel. You understand? It's a case of, it is a case of putting your data out there now to cyber attacks. Because I can guarantee you, once that girl go on YouTube and start releasing video, all of these people out there who will comment on the other people's video, they will bombard their channel with all different kind of shit. All different kind of garbage, I'm telling you that. So that's one of the moves I thought Crissy is gonna go wrong, letting this little girl have a YouTube channel, unless they turn off the comments. That's one of the biggest, that's a wrong move. That's a wrong move. Grace, I see your comment. I never say something probably didn't happen. I have expressed that. I think the little girl was meant to feel uncomfortable in a certain situation. And for her to feel like that, something would have to happen. So I don't dispute that at all. But what really happened? That's still a mystery. But some people think they know. And I wonder, how do they know but the courts don't? And the persons who are professional and are trained to identify these things, like the police department and all of those, how don't they know? You know, so I guess a lot of people out there know a lot more than we do. You understand? But yeah, I think part of building back the Carter family is not giving that little girl a YouTube channel. That's a bad idea. I heard Crissy announce the other day that she'll start her YouTube channel soon. That little girl is going to be abused on YouTube. That little girl is going to be harassed. That little girl, mind is going to be turned from YouTube. And, you know, when a child is that young and have to face discrimination and all these kind of things on YouTube, and is faced with many different influences from people with different mindset, it's going to be very dangerous for her. And I think that's a bad idea. I think what we expected of the Carter family didn't play out in our expectations, whereas many of us thought that Crissy would probably divorce CMR and the family would have been in shambles. But for some reason, it looks like CMR and Crissy is rebuilding the Carter family and rebuilding themselves and moving on from this accusation. CMR is back working on all his channels, releasing videos on a daily basis, back to being a content creator. Crissy is a little bit happier now that CMR, all of this is over CMR, off CMR's head, and the kids can see their dad, and the pressure of her being a mom for that moment, almost like a single mom, is being supported now because CMR is back there. she's getting to do more stuff now with the support of her husband. And Crissy is just putting back in the work as well. You know, she's not letting stuff getting back to her. So I see a rebuilding process going on in the Carter family. And I have to be surprised. I think this, which has happened, will only make the Carter family stronger than it was. Because if this doesn't break the Carter family, nothing will. The cheating, which Shani didn't, all the other stuff, and no, but this was a bit personal because this was in the household and this was with Chrissy's daughter. So, why the court dropped the case, we will not know all the details. What was revealed, what was behind it, we will not know. What did the investigation revealed, we will not know all the details. But as the viewers, we have to just continue and look on. But the Carter family is in a rebuilding process. You can already see the burden off CMR head. You can already see that Crissy face is lightening up a little bit more. You know? I have even seen videos where people wondering if CMR is back at the house. They're tracking down the Melon van to say, see the Melon, it's going to Crissy. But Crissy never tell you that he's no longer with her husband. This is what I can't understand. Crissy has never expressed that she's having a divorce, or she's no longer going to be with her husband, or she no longer wants him back at the house. That is only the viewer's problem, if we realize. So our problem is not Crissy's problem, and it's not CMR's problem, and it's not the Carter family problem. If CMR move back in the house, we can't stop it. Crissy never say he don't want him move back in the house. CMR playing back a part in his kid's life. It's very confusing what people want, but it's different. Grace said, boy, I saw something like this happen already, and God eventually exposed the person, because what's in the dark always comes out in the light. Thank you very much for that, Grace. And I've said it earlier. The truth always have a way of coming out. And I have said it. If CMR did do something to this little girl, probably it will not be revealed via this little girl along the line, but sometimes higher powers work in situations. And like I have said, time is longer than rope. Time is always longer than rope. You understand? And it's this mindset why I don't jump to conclusion. I don't pick side. I work with what's in front of me. And I don't try to put my personal feelings in my analysis. I don't. I could have had a family member who something like this has happened to. But not because I had a family member who something like similar to this has happened to means that I am going to cast that judgment on this situation when the case is totally different. I don't do that. That would mean, like a person said earlier, that's just a way of them. I'm not a person who have probably gone through the same thing or know of somebody who have gone through the same thing, trying to use this situation to gain justice for themselves. You know? And personally, I think that will be a bit biased and it will cloud your judgment because you're going to so much focus on what has happened and just trying to use this to make an example even when things are different in this case. So people, there's a lot to it. David Palmer said, good morning, bro. Are you friends of them? David Palmer, I don't know CMR. I don't know Crissy. I've never commented on any of their videos. They have never commented on any of mine. I've never spoken to them or ever seen them in real life. So the answer to your question, I have never had any interaction with them. We don't communicate. We have never even dialogue on a business type of level or anything. I don't know them. The only place I see them is on YouTube just like all the other viewers. Simple as that. But separate and apart from what you hear, that I am being paid off by CMR and Crissy, that this is happening and that is happening, that's, I cannot really speak on that, because at the end of the day, we have a lot of YouTubers out there who kind of give the audience things to, I have to understand what they're doing anyway, you know? I have to kind of understand. Melody Crook say, J for J, something inappropriate happening in that house. Melody Crook, I agree with you 100%. I have said that over and over. This is why this is the confusing part of the statement, which people with a little, I don't even know how to put it. When I say, the little girl could be lying, but she's not telling a complete lie. This is the statement which got them all, you know. But you see, because they can't reason out with themselves, they say, it's either she's lying or she's telling the truth. Sometimes it make me wonder. Something can always happen, you know, and I could add on to it, or I could take away from it. It's that simple. Anybody can add to something or take away from it. It is that easy. But you have a lot of people out there, their vision is like this. They don't know what's going on the left. They don't know what's going on the right. They don't know what's going on behind them. They don't know what's going on up there. They don't know. Their vision is just like this. Their head is just stuck in a spot like that. It's like them giant lodge. If them look left, their neck pop. If them look right, their neck pop. So a person like that, it's very difficult to speak to a person like that. It will always be difficult. Let's say now, let me explain that for this person. Unbroken. Little girl could be lying, but she's not telling a complete lie. Okay. Let me break that down a little bit for you guys. Let's say something happened in the household which we cannot say anything about, because we don't know the facts. But it made the little girl uncomfortable, right? And for the times that it has happened, what if the amount of times it was not so, but it happened at a particular time, but the amount of time was not so? And based on what was discussed to the teacher or whoever, it sounded worse than it actually is. And this is what triggered such a high-profile investigation. But after they have done their investigation, they realized that we do not have enough evidence based on the statement that was given. Because the police report which we saw was enough to pretty much send CMR to prison. That's why people kept referring to me, haven't you seen the police report? Haven't you seen the police report? But the police report was enough for CMR to be in prison right now. But upon investigation, what's in the police report? The findings of the investigation was not enough to support it. So there was not enough evidence. So isn't that safe to say that even if the court think that something may have happened and they drop the case on the grounds that there was not enough evidence to prosecute this man. But based on the police report, that would be enough to send him to prison. But upon investigation, everything that was in the police report could not be proven. So what does that say to you? And hence why the persons who look in one direction say, the court did not say he is innocent, but they also did not say he is guilty. They said they don't have enough evidence. And why? Because following the police report, after investigation, enough evidence was not gathered to support that police report, which would put CMR in prison. So what does that say to you? Unbroken say, okay, but there are red flags in CMR's story. Yes, people could lie, but CMR action and his historical lies might say different. You have a point, unbroken, but I have also said for both person. This is where people miss it, and focus only on the little girl, I said the little girl, right, could be telling the truth, but not the complete truth. And that would still be explained as telling lie, but not a complete lie. It's vice versa, whichever way you say it. But it will confuse a lot of people who just look like that. And I have also said it could be the same for CMR. He could be telling a lie, but not all a complete lie. But the problem is, we will never know. That's why we can always say something must have happened in the house for even all of this accusation to come up. Because when I look at it, I just say, there is no way nothing happened and the little girl just come out of the blue and say that. So something would have happened to make her feel uncomfortable. And obviously, CMR would have to defend himself. Who is lying or who is telling the truth? That was for the court to realize, and they haven't. So who are we? Who? It's that simple, people. I am not here to judge CMR based on what he's done in the past or his historical lie. That's not my problem. That's Crissy's problem. I speak on the matter that was at hand. The accusation. And purely that. What he's done in the past and whatever, that's not my problem. That's a Crissy. That sounds like a Crissy issue. But this is what I try to get people to understand. A lot of people will speak on that. So what are you doing? You're clouding your vision of the matter that actually at hand, because you're using historical happenings to resolve something that is happening now. That is the problem. Here Grace again. Grace say, one day, everything will come to light. You see what's happening with Diddy. Grace, I am that type of person. I like to wait for everything because I already know that. That no matter what person I hide, one day, the truth will come out. The truth will come out. So that's why I say, if he has done it, and even if it cannot be proven now, the fact that nothing comes of it, if he is that type of person, he will do it again. And if the little girl had actually accused him wrongfully, somewhere along the line, even if it's by conscience, when this little girl is an adult and able to express herself freely, she'll probably say. So whichever way we look at it, one way or the other, the truth will come out, but maybe not on our timing. And that's just the reality of life. And a lot of people cannot deal with reality. They can't. Sage James said, put this to rest because it sounds like you're taking CMR's side. This is what I just said. A lot of people cannot deal with the reality. So of course it will sound like I'm picking a particular side. Because there is a verdict that drops the case against CMR. So whose side? I don't get it. This is why I say people cannot deal with reality. If the verdict says the case is dropped, that's what I'll go by. Which the court is saying he's not guilty. Because he would be in prison. So who am I to come here and say that he's guilty? Or the court don't know what they're doing? I work with the reality that's at hand. I am not speaking for CMR or I'm not speaking for the little girl. I am speaking via my analysis and what is there in front of me. Here another person here. Deborah Wilmore say, my opinion is that this was all to get people talking about the family to keep them relevant for more subscribers. Deborah, everybody is all YouTubers and content creator. And Deborah, if that was the mission, wouldn't it be that the little girl would have known about it? And they would have done, plan and orchestrate all of this to know that nothing would come of it, but it would get us trending and talking about. So what would happen to all those people then who are making the judgment, and if this was all staged? There is so many angles that we can look at, but it's not worth it. So guys, I was only addressing this topic because I needed to do a closure video on it. So that's pretty much the only reason why I was addressing this topic. So like I say, for me now is just to see what happens now with the Carter family, the rebuilding process and everything that's around it. So for me personally, I have no reason to do another video in regards to this topic. I will do another video in regards to probably CMR and Crissy, but it will have nothing to do with the actual topic of the allegations and all of that, you know, because I am here to look at the rebuilding process, how they move on from this. If Crissy and CMR are going to divorce, if CMR are going to move away, if all of these things that will come up next. But in regards to this topic, I have no reason to address this topic. I have a lot more topics that I have to address to bring to my audience. You know, anybody who knows my channel, anybody who knows what work I do, I spend a certain period of time on a topic until the issue has been resolved. And for me, I think that this case has been resolved for me because there has been a verdict. So I will leave this to the other YouTubers who have a vast personal interest in it for whatever their mission is, you know, so that will be left to them. So for me, it's pretty much just bringing across my other topics which I have to share with my audience. Remember, if you don't put it in front of me, I cannot analyze it. I don't analyze stuff out of thin air, and I don't come and make up stuff to analyze. So now that there is nothing for me to analyze in regards to CMR, the accusation, the little girl, and the Carter family, then I have to put it to rest because I'll be making up stuff, you know, and I don't do my analysis like that. When I analyze something, it is out there for anybody else to retract the social media and see these findings. So, for my fellow YouTubers, this topic will be for you guys to be juggling around if it's within your interests. And for me, I have a lot more work to do, and I have a lot more interesting topics to bring to my audience, and that's what I will be working on. So as it goes along, I will be keeping track on the Carter family and their rebuilding process. So that's where my interest will be in regards to the Carter family. So yeah, I can pretty much say, I hope this video, I hope this video just do whatever I do. Or if I come across to whoever look at it or whatever, that's down to them. But for me, I always do a closure video. Anybody who watch my channel and any topic I put an interest in, I always do a closure. And this is my closure video to this topic, because there is nothing left in this topic for me to be back and forth about. The case is dropped. CMR is back to doing whatever he needs to do. Crissy is back to doing whatever he needs to do. The little girl is still at the house. Everything looks normal to me. Then who am I to get involved in all of that? I am a social media analyst. You put the data in front of me and I analyze it. Without any data, there is nothing for me to analyze. That's where the difference is with myself and a lot of YouTubers. You know, no envy from my content, no malice, no grudge, you know, no malicious intent, no negativity. It is simple with JAYY-Pro World. Put the data in front of me and I will analyze it and I will give my findings. That's simple. Everybody, big up on yourself. Thank you guys again for joining JAYY-Pro World on this early morning live. So everybody, whole heap a big up. You understand? Celine Barbara, big up yourself. Yeah, man, new topic right now for me. Remember, say me can't do like a lot of other people, you know. Remember, say me have a lot of work to do. Notice me have a lot of work to do. So me have other topics I have to bring to my audience. Because that's how me go to work. Anybody who watch me and know my thing. You understand? We don't stay and want. Once the topic has been resolved to an extent, then yeah. You know, if there are new developments in the case where probably for some reason he gone back to the court again or police or investigate again, then that's new development. The case would have taken a new turn. So in that case, I would have to come back on the topic. But if there's no development, what is there for me to analyze? Baseless information? I can't do that. I have an integrity to withhold, which I owe to my audience. You know, and I don't pick side, and I owe that to my audience as well, to be straightforward and not biased, you know, and be as transparent as I can. Whether some people like it or they don't like it, that's the best I can do. So everybody, big up on yourself. Yeah, man, as me say, the CMR and Crissy and the little girl accusation case is over, and this is my closure video, you know. And yeah, just stay tuned for some new topics and stuff like that. Remember, I'm not a content creator like many others. My channel is not based on any particular topic, to say the least. I address the topic, it's closed, I move on and continue to provide great analysis to my audience out there, because that's what they look forward to. So everybody, big up on yourself. Remember, love and love alone. One JAYY-Pro World. Big up. Love.